All right, we are live back in the Let's Do Video boardroom. Great to see you, Tim.
Likewise.
And it was great to actually see you. We hung out in person.
We did indeed, David. Yeah, it was good fun, wasn't it? Talking
It
about
was good
Zoomtopia.
fun, and we
Yeah.
have Zoom to thank for it. It's actually we're here today to talk about Zoomtopia 2023. But one of the things I'm most grateful for the Zoom team is putting me together with my fellow analysts like Tim. The time with the group was awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really nice to speak with people, see what their views are, listen to some very intelligent questions from people. Yeah, it's really good fun. Enjoyed it.
It was a great event, and I might come off sounding like a fanboy because I still have the adrenaline from being there and ludicrous, the music, and meeting with the execs and everything. But I'm really starting to feel like this is becoming a tier one event. I feel like there's events in the industry where the vendors say, "Here's our new announcements," and there's events in the industry where vendors say, "We already told you our new announcements at the tier one event." Uh, Vendors had
Yeah,
announcements specifically for Zoomtopia.
yeah, and I think what highlighted to me is that I mean, Zoom's all about happiness. So it's customer happiness. It's clearly analyst happiness. We got access to all sorts of sessions and senior executives, but it's also about the event happiness, whether or not it's live or actually digital. If it's it's a hybrid event and the live event was run perfectly, I mean, it's just run really smoothly and beautifully by a behind the scenes team of people, and it's just great for a digital attendee as it is a physical attendee.
Their events team is like a secret weapon. I mean, they have for our industry, they have like a Hollywood events team. It's crazy, and their events platform. I mean, it really does become a case study in how to run a hybrid event. We talked about this at the last Zoomtopia, and we talk about it at Zoom Perspectives. I don't want to spend too much time because I want to get into the event, but it does feel like a hybrid event. It doesn't feel like we're there and stuff is being streamed to other people. It feels like the other people are there with us. So
Well, to the point that we geeked out, didn't we? We had a behind the scenes tour behind the curtain of
yes,
how the whole thing is put together, and in between the gaffer tape and all the laptops were a crew that
I
were
have a
doing all
picture
of
of that
this.
we're going to show.
Fantastic. I look
But
forward to talking about that in a bit.
we have a fun format today. Before the show, Tim sent me his list of his 8 takeaways. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go through what I don't know if they were takeaways. The opposite of takeaways, they were my at the moments. I'm going to share my tweets. We're trying to get off of Twitter, but I did this with tweets. And after going through what struck me as cool at the moment, then we're going to go through Tim's list and see how well we match up. So let me bring up on the screen here. Just starting with the this. I just had this up here because it was a nice tweet from the Zoom team with sort of a wrap up of the event. It was a good event. There was a lot going on there. So let's go to, and of course, I had to do my circle in the room in the big events hall. A little silly, but I was having fun. It was a fun event. Okay, so this is my first tweet, and I think our first topic of discussion, and we could spend the entire hour, 2 hours, 3 hours talking about this. So we'll try to go through it quickly, but Zoom's AI is here. It's real. It's available. I'm using it, and it's free. When the competition is $30 per user per month. Is this the
Yeah.
biggest thing that's happened in the industry? I mean, is it me, or is this, what do you call a
It
big
is
earthquake?
big. One thing that Zoom were very clear about saying, not free, they corrected me and said it's no additional cost for people that have got a paid license. So just putting that one out there. But it did feel like a distinct knock at Microsoft. And they spoke about deeper human connection at no additional cost. Of course, they have a federated approach. So they use, it's a high quality approach using Zoom, LLMs, Meta, Anthropic, OpenAI. It's basically bring your own LLM, bring your own model. And of course, they don't use customer content to train AI, which is a big area that I know people are worried about with security. But yes, it's huge. And they did say that there are elements of AI that's going to be provided at no additional cost on the platform. And then they will also look at specific AI use cases, such as sales or contact center, I think were the two use cases specifically, David, weren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be throughout the. It's not just I just been playing with the meeting summaries, but there's stuff in the meeting, not just the meeting summaries. It's in there in the email. I mean, it's throughout the Zoom universe with specific things. Yeah, for things like sales. But what I thought was really interesting was 2 weeks ago when we did our last live stream, we chatted about this, and you mentioned that you've been trialing the Microsoft, and you weren't and I sent you after the meeting. I sent you the meeting summary of our chat, and I'm like, is it me or is this good? And I think you were saying it's not just you, David.
It's not just you. I think the meeting summary by both vendors are good. So I haven't got any problem at all with Microsoft Copilot and the Teams meeting summarization. Where I do have a little bit of contention is with the value-added features that you'd expect from the likes of Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Outlook.
Okay.
So, for example, I use Grammarly to improve my writing, and there's an Improve It button that helps you summarize a paragraph. So I jumped into Copilot in Word and thought, oh, I just highlight a paragraph, and suddenly Copilot will tell me recommendations on how to improve it. Well, it doesn't. It does an intelligent document summary. It's good at taking large amounts of content and a summary from it, but I haven't found a great deal of value that would really make me want to splash out, perhaps $30 per user per month on it. But this is going to be an area that is going to seriously get a lot of attention, and rightly so, because it promises a great deal in terms of productivity. We can see the benefits already just in the trials that we have. Having it at no extra cost, I think, is going to be a really big boon for Zoom customers. So yeah, I think it's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it's not overhyped, because how could anything match the amount of hype that we've seen for this kind of AI? But it's not a fad. It's not going away. I mean, not anyone, but I think a lot of people will have a similar experience to me, where they use it and say, yeah, this is part of my routine now.
Yeah, and they spoke about Zoom AI Companion, which is the one that's going to be at no extra cost. That was to provide meeting summaries, whiteboard ideas, chat summaries, chat compose, catch me up, those sorts of things that you can ask their AI companion to do. Zoom Mail was also mentioned, smart recordings with actions, and Zoom task management, and that hopefully will find its way into Zoom Docs, which is something that we will probably talk about in a little while.
Yeah, and these are all things that I feel like I was wrong about them. I thought they were okay. These things are super cool, but I don't need them. I just don't need them. I've never had them before. I'm fine. But after using them, it's like, yeah, I need these. This isn't just cool. I actually need it. Here's our behind the scenes. Oh my God, was I happy back there. They had all the toys, and they had it done right. Oh, you see the double rows of laptops? This one's doing the same thing as this one's doing. It's a backup. So if this one breaks, it automatically fail safes to that. In my dreams, I have a setup like that. And they explained exactly how it works. And you think, people just kind of, oh yeah, there's a lot of cool equipment. No, I wanted to know how it all worked, and they really told us, and it was amazing. I think the thing that I'm most jealous of is there's a computer right behind me where I'm taking this picture. That is a computer dedicated to running Unreal Engine. And I've been wanting to dabble with Unreal Engine. There were some streamers on Twitch doing some really cool things with it, and I've looked into it. And what I found out is I can't just download the software to my computer and run it and expect it to work. It needs a separate computer just doing Unreal, which I'm just not about to do. And they have it there. They have their Unreal computer, and that's how they did really cool stuff. Like on the main stage behind Eric, whoever's speaking, they had remote participants, which is great, bringing the remote participants. But they were in these cool little Candy Crush panels that would spin around and float around in space and move around in 3D space. That's the Unreal stuff. And it's like, that's really just using it just using it for stuff like that. It's amazing.
And also like 3D rendering of some of the emoticons and how they disappear and where they position that, of course, in the video stream. It was great. And I think the thing for me was, it wasn't just you and I that were attending. There were customers there that really want to leverage this in their own environments as well. So I had a couple of these sessions. They were really well attended. Clearly a lot of interest in production quality, broadcast quality live events. So yeah, it's really good.
And shout out to Sam and Andy. It was a great tour. And Sam did a really good job of whenever he could, he said, and we're using Zoom for this because we're Zoom. It's because Zoom does. There's a lot of things you don't realize Zoom can do. It's moving video and audio around through internet. I mean, that's what they're good at, and that's a lot of what actually happens here. So there were a lot of times when he's had to use other things like Unreal Engine. Zoom isn't Unreal Engine. You have to use something else. But there were a lot of examples where you wouldn't think, and he'd say, "We use Zoom to do that." I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
I want to go back. This was a session by Patrick Kelley, talking about integrations with Zoom and other things. This is Mio in particular. I think Mio is really cool because I'm frustrated. I have all these chats open. The idea of just having one chat and it goes to Teams and Zoom and Google is a really cool idea for a product. I thought this session was great. I'm a little upset because I've been watching Patrick's videos and being like, oh, I love this guy. He's doing the stuff that I like to. He sits in front of the camera, he talks about Zoom for 5 minutes, he puts it up on YouTube, and it's great. And that's what I love doing. But I feel like we should be friends, and I feel like he's my secret. Like when in high school you find a band that no one else knows of and they're amazing. You're like, I love this band. And then you go somewhere and everyone's wearing the t-shirt and everyone's listening to them. That's what this is an event. Everyone was saying, "Oh, that's Patrick. He's awesome." I'm like, "No, he's awesome. I know he's my discovery." But this is a guy to watch and follow. He's been doing these 1-minute videos. I should remember that he had a cute name, but he's doing these videos for Zoom now. They're just 1 minute long, really watchable, really fun. And his session was amazing. A lot of it was integrations with Zoom and other things. At one point, he was using Zoom AI to write an email in Microsoft Outlook, which is like, if I could do that, why would I pay for Copilot?
Interesting. Yeah, like that.
Really compelling. Did you catch any of his sessions? Any of these sessions?
Unfortunately, not. No. I had my eyes on many other sessions as well. That's the thing. There's so many great sessions and so little time.
They really were. The quality of the sessions. I mean, most of the events I go to, the sessions are pretty good, but filling up. There's some really good sessions and some filler sessions. These were all really, really good. This I just wanted to thank the analyst team. We really need to thank the analyst team for a lot. They had us, they had areas for us to work, areas for us for quiet, areas to meet with people. They set up a sound stage in the main hall. I was supposed to grab you and find you, but I couldn't find you at the time. And this is me with one of my sponsors, Aver, and they had lighting and setup, and I was able to record a little video, and a lot of the analysts used this, and it was just really appreciated, and that kind of extra the analyst team really goes out of its way to give us those extra hugs. Workvivo. I made sure to catch the Workvivo session. That's one of our favorite topics about Zoom. It was great to see the Workvivo team there. I'm working on getting them here as guests.
Nice. Yeah.
But I think I don't think that we're wrong. We've been proven wrong yet for being fans of this. I think.
Yeah, the news there was that Workvivo was going to be included in the Zoom desktop app, and it wasn't going to be like a tab or anything like that. It will be integrated. So that to me is a big one, because you don't want to have to change your workflow to jump into a different app, which is really good. I believe that Workvivo will still exist as a separate SKU and will also exist as a separate mobile app. So there's different insertion points. You can use it independently of Zoom. Clearly works better together. But that was a good one. Workvivo included in the Zoom desktop app.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially considering the nature of Workvivo. Now we've had conversations about it and I understand it. It's not Facebook for work where you're feeding and scrolling all day. We don't want our people scrolling all day. They got work to do. It's something you check on maybe once a day, maybe once or twice a week. So if I have to open up something separate once a week to check it, I might forget to do that. But if it's in the Zoom app and just once or twice a week, I get a little red notification. Oh, right, check Workvivo. Oh, there's a new announcement.
And if I'm
that's the right workflow.
Yeah, and if I'm a frontline worker as well, David, I've got access to my mobile device. I might not have access to a laptop, so I can catch up on what's going on in the company without having to look at, whiteboards or notice boards or piece of paper or memos that I might have in my store, or just get sent an email. This is what's happening. It's a nice way of collaborating with frontline workers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's what Facebook, not what I thought Facebook for work would be. It's what it should be. I don't think I said that well, but you get the idea. Um, okay, this is something we talked about, but the Zoom events team had a session with two customers, and I think that's important because we always talk about how Zoom does a great job with Zoom hybrid events. Is the technology there to the point where their customers can? And the answer is yes. But these customers, they had like tricky situations. They needed a lot of Zoom help. Like it wasn't just, oh yeah, we got the platform, got up and running. Zoom has a team for these kinds of customers where they're able to come in and really hold their hands and help them. But I think the idea of the Zoom Events platform is for the typical person that's looking to do more than just one webinar or just stream one session from the from their live event. You could just use the Zoom Events platform itself.
Yeah, excellent. It's not always great to have customer real world examples.
Yeah. Those sessions are particularly good. This is just a shot I just wanted to put in. The line for the baristas was really long, and those baristas were smiling. They were complaining, and they were working so hard. And I just thought they should get a little pat on the back.
Nice.
And that goes for everyone working behind the scenes at Zoomtopia, not just the baristas. This is scroll up a little bit. Something I mentioned at the beginning. Thank you, Zoom, for allowing this to happen. These are some of my favorite people. These are other analysts in the industry, and it was just wonderful just to walk around, just not even talking about work, just people just having a normal evening out, and it was a definite highlight. Crestron, I mentioned at the beginning how I feel like this is becoming a tier 1 event. Crestron actually briefed with me a week before the event, and we did an NDA video, which I released live. It's on our YouTube channel. When the event was live with 4 or 5 announcements of Crestron that they saved for this event, Zoom related announcements. One is they have a physical phone for Zoom Phone. We talked before about how, when Zoom said they're doing phone, it's like, really? I mean, Zoom Phone, where does that come from? And then they brief with us and they're like, oh, we already have 5 million licenses. And we're like, what? Zoom's a player in the phone space. So if Crestron customers are using Zoom Phone, got a device with Zoom Phone. And I haven't used a desk phone in so many years. I kind of make fun of the idea of desk phones, but this is what a modern desk phone should look like. It's digital. It's got your Zoom on it. It's got your Zoom contacts. If you need it, it's got the camera, and you could use it as a screen. Although I think we want to do Zoom on the big screen.
Yeah, well, for me, what was interesting there was Zoom Phone's available in 47 countries. And we also, at our analyst session, we had 2 customers that were on stage. One said that they've got 30,000 users within their organization on Zoom Phone. They have a premise-based PBX solution in India because of regulatory concerns or requirements there. But of course, Zoom Phone for India is in beta at the moment. And they said as soon as that goes generally available, that they'll move everyone off and into the cloud. So that's 30,000 users on Zoom Phone in one company. Interestingly, though, they said that they've done away with 10,000 IP phones. So they said that knowledge workers get used to headphones, but of course, there are always people in an office that might prefer a phone. So it's an interesting dynamic that's happening out there. But that to me was huge. 30,000 users on Zoom Phone. It's not just the SMB segment. It's just not small to medium-sized businesses. No, it's large enterprises as well, of course.
Yeah, they're a player in the space. And so out of those 30,000, they all could just be using Zoom Phone on their computers, just as running as an app with their headphones. But I do think some of them are going to want a physical phone. Not all 30,000.
No.
But
I don't think we've ever, I don't know, if you're in a bad mood, you want to slam down the phone. There's got to be something. I can't slam down a headset. That doesn't work. It's not as satisfying as slamming down a phone.
There is something satisfying as...
But it is, I guess people are used to, working with that and without having to sort of, there's some people that prefer that in the office. There's some people that are typing when they're speaking, they need to take notes. But yeah, it's always great to have that option. And of course, there's a big market for phones, physical phones.
But the big story is that big players like Crestron are taking this event as one of the key events. Crestron's at all the events. This is another thank you Zoom tweet. Wow, what a highlight! I mean, this is the Zoom exec team, and they're sitting there in a room full of you, me, and all our analyst friends, and just answering our questions. And this kind of access, I mean, if you wanted to hire these people to sit in a room and answer your questions, you couldn't afford it. None, they couldn't afford it. The value of this was just unbelievable, and I just appreciate it so much. And yeah. I didn't ask any questions. I think you might have. I'm like, I'm going to let the smarter answer. This time is so valuable.
I was jumping in there. I think it was probably the barista coffee in the morning that really got me all fired up. But yeah, we got some great access. It was very much an ask me anything sort of approach. Really great. Very, very happy to sort of have access to those, the brain trust in that room. It's fantastic.
Oh, Zoom Docs.
Oh, yes.
Did not see this coming. Is not what I expected it to be. I think I'm still not sure exactly how it's going to be used in the real world, because this is different. This is new. The first thought is, oh, Zoom Docs. So it's like Microsoft Word, except it's in the Zoom app. They put email in the Zoom app, and they put calendar in the Zoom app. Now they're putting Word in the Zoom app. This is not Word. This is more like, what is everyone saying, like Notion or Canvas or those type of...
Yeah, it's a bit like Notion, Canvas, Microsoft Loop. The whole idea here is that Zoom wants to make teamwork more meaningful. So it's not a doc. It's really an AI-powered workplace, digital workplace or Canvas that is used for docs and wikis and work management and tables and absolutely all sorts. I mean, it's coming in 2024, but to see the preview there and get an understanding of how that will work and integrate with third-party apps to help you co-create, collaborate, manage projects, basically stay organized, I think is fantastic. I just don't like the branding of calling it docs, because to me, it sounds quite limiting.
That's fair. And of course, the power of it is it's in the Zoom app, so it's easily shared with your chat groups or whatever you have going there, easily brought into meetings. Everything else, it's part of, I mean, that's the whole point of it, but it's part of the Zoom world. But in and of itself, it's a very interesting, new, different thing, something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. It's just a great tweet from Blair. Contact center alone, 600 new features. Oh my God. Just like the same, I feel the same way about contact center as I felt about phone. Zoom said they're doing contact centers. I'm like, Zoom is who, what now? Why? Okay, yeah, I guess they understand how to move audio and video through networks really well, and that's all contact center really is at the end of the day, but come on. They're a major player in the contact center space now. They have a compelling offering.
That was 600 features in less than 18 months. So it's absolutely phenomenal. And one of the graphics that were put on the screen was, I call it the peanut, because it looks like an infinity symbol. You've got customer experience on one side, employee experience on the other side, sorry. And all of the products around the side or solutions around the side, but all on a single platform. So that's the power, I think, of a single platform approach, looking at customer experience and engagement and employee experience and engagement, because of course you can leverage AI across the two. So all on one single platform, lower costs, lower management, all integrated. You can get AI to work across all that data that, of course, you're pushing out there and to make intelligent insights. So that was one graphic that I really, really liked, and I think that was one of the opening ones that was on the stage. So
yes. You actually shared that. You sent that to me in an IM, and I meant to set it up back here, but it's not set up to share back here. But
no problem.
I'll share it next time. But it's a very cool graphic, and yeah, it looks like, I think internally they call it the remote control because it looks like a video game remote control. I like your name better. You're calling it the Zoom Peanut because it is shaped like a peanut. I think I'm going to be calling it the Zoom Peanut, and it has a lot of exactly what you're with the experience, and we'll have to share it next time.
Yeah.
Almost done. The party. This was the opening band. I actually took a vertical video, which I never do, but I'm like, you know what? I'm sharing it on the phone. It has to be vertical. They were awesome, and Zoom does such a good idea. They always have, not always, but they've been recently having two bands of different genres, so everyone gets something. You know, these guys were a little country, a little classic rock and roll, and then they were followed up by Ludacris. And I love both shows. I was happy both times. But it was a packed crowd in a really nice venue. Everyone was happy. And it was just a great way to end the event. They always have great music. So that's the end of my tweets. Let's go over your list and see if there's any big takeaways that I didn't capture at the time.
Yeah, well, we covered off Gen AI with Zoom AI Companion. We covered off Zoom Docs. We spoke about Workvivo and including that in the Zoom desktop app.
3 for 3.
That's right. Zoom Phone for India in beta trial. We spoke about that. We didn't. The ones that missing for me were the desktop reservation system.
Oh.
So for hybrid workers, Zoom were talking about their desktop reservation system, which is really great, a really good idea. And I'm glad to see, this seemed to me like a best kept secret from Zoom, but I'm glad that they got a mention because I don't think anyone's really figured out hybrid yet. You're either mandated in the office or you've got some degree of flexibility, or you go into the office and you can't get a desk, or I want to sit next to David so we can work together. This is where Zoom's desktop reservation system plays a part.
Zoom Clips. That ties into a recent story. People were making fun of Zoom because they're partially returning to the office and they're going hybrid. Zoom, the remote meeting company, is making people go to the office. Zoom sells a desktop reservation tool. Zoom sells hybrid workplace tools. They have to be hybrid. They have to use their own stuff. Any good company has to use their own stuff. So they have to be hybrid. How else can they test this stuff? But I love the desktop. It's very Star Trek. It's very, here's the office and boop, I want to use that room and it turns green. It's very cool.
Which is interesting because Microsoft made that announcement about Microsoft Places maybe 2 years ago at Ignite, and we haven't heard anything yet from them. Maybe we'll see something a bit further down the road, but it does feel like the battle lines are being drawn between these two companies. Zoom Clips with the other one, David, that's currently in beta. Yes. It's GAing this month, which is great because it's asynchronous video. It allows you to sort of record a quick clip to your team, perhaps do a little bit of editing, send it off, which I think is great. It's like video voicemail, I guess. But
exactly. We say this meeting could have been an email, and sometimes this meeting couldn't really be an email, but it could be a clip. I needed to explain something. You didn't need to sit and,
It's great. And I think Zoom came up with the phrase that the best meeting is the one that you never had, which
exactly.
Video clips could be that, of course. You don't need to have a meeting if you're just imparting information or just want to get a status update or something like that.
I'm a little concerned, not about the product, but about whether society is culturally ready for it. We've tried video voicemail before, and it never caught on even a little. It's just been like, ooh, someone has video voicemail. This is great. Here's all the reasons we should be using it, and then no one uses it. But Zoom has a history of making things usable enough that people actually use them. So if anyone can solve the video voicemail problem, it's probably Zoom.
And it's one to many as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it just goes to one individual. If it goes into a channel, then that's fantastic. You can address the team or the channel directly with a very quick clip. So I think it's going to probably get a bit more traction. Then, of course, for me, the last one was Zoom Intelligent Director, which is the ability for you to, of course, have multiple cameras in a room, have multiple feeds of people in the same room. Is that the best way to describe it? David, yes. Maybe you can give a better explanation as to what Intelligent Director is.
It's funny that I missed that because the first thing I did when I got back was ghostwrite an article about Intelligent Director. So I just wrote an article about it. I can't say where it is, but I'm very proud of it. If you read a good article about Intelligent Director, it might be me. But the problem is, in our room, assuming we have people in the chairs, if all the chairs were full, it wouldn't be an issue because then we could all just look at each other. But we have some people that are home, and it's hard to capture them. The typical thing is we have one camera capturing us, and it's like, "Hello, remote person, are you still see that I'm here?" Or what we do generally is we have one camera, and we've used the last generation of AI, which wasn't dumb. It was smart enough to do voice tracking, or even people tracking. Even without speaking, it knows what a person looks like and can frame on the person. This is way smarter. We have multiple cameras, and it's smart enough to talk between the two cameras and know that David in camera 1 is the same David in camera 2 is the same David in camera 3. And then say, and it doesn't just give the 3 views. It says, okay, we're not going to give people 3 Davids. Which David looks best? Take that David, crop it, put it in its own stream. So what happens is, if we have, again, zoom out a little bit, people in these chairs, one of the cameras, and we don't need, it goes up to, I think, 18 people, but you don't need 18 cameras. You only need 3 cameras. Cameras can be cropped in multiple feeds. But between those 3 cameras, they'll get the best view of each person, and every person will have their own Zoom window. So finally, we talk about meeting equity, and the whole thing of meeting equity is that people from home, are framed. They're lit. They're nice. They're big, and people in the meeting room are tiny. If everyone in the meeting room has their own Zoom window, that's it. We've reached meeting equity nirvana.
Definitely. I mean, the alternative is either everyone works from home and has their very nicely framed video feed, which we're used to, which we got used to in COVID times, or you sit at your desk with a webcam while everyone else is in the meeting room, and you're very nicely framed while all your colleagues are little small dots in a big broad boardroom. So I think this is going to be a big one. A lot of interest in this one.
Everyone, it's all anyone's been talking about since we returned to the office is meeting equity, because it's really a problem, because the whole earn my commute. I'll come in if half the team's going to be there and I want to be face to face, but if I had stayed home, I would have been more effective in the video meeting. I would have gotten my message more across better. I would have gotten my presentation across better. That's the opposite of earning my commute. You're encouraging me to stay home. I want to be more effective on video. So this is a
and of course,
big problem.
People stay at home if they can't get a desk. So the desktop reservation system is it's all part of it, which for me is great. The way in which Zoom is looking at the whole lot, from employee experience to customer experience, is all important. Yeah.
Yeah, that ties into the point we were making before, that Zoom is no longer a meeting company with some other products. Zoom is the hybrid work company. I mean, that's what they're really trying to do here is support hybrid work through everything from bringing in the remote people to giving a better experience in the meeting room to desktop reservation. And to giving us the tools like Docs, which we're not happy with the name, but we love the product. For once we're to actually get the work done. It is a new Zoom.
It is. Wow. Well, we managed to do that in 45 minutes around that. I thought we were going to go on for 4 hours, David. So it feels like we've rattled through it all. I hope we've given our viewers.
It feels like 5 minutes because it was all such cool stuff. It does. It really feels good. But you're right. We should wrap it up. Thank you to anyone who's watching, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with more UC news in the space. This is a really fun one. All right, thanks for being here, Tim, and thanks everyone for watching.